So a few years ago, I bought a Harbor Freight 20-ton shop press. And I've really not modified the unit really to speak of, but what I did change was something that bothered me, and that was it had some black springs that were in between this bolt and this hole that's right here. And the intent for those was to actually take this, I'll call it the press bar, and lift it up when you were collapsing your bottle jack back down again. You're finished with your press. And that bothered me a lot, so I came up with a design that was simply working based on gravity, and it wasn't going to be stretching springs. It wasn't going to be having to require any kind of adjustments to continuously get it tightened. So I've got a pulley and cable type system with just a free hanging weight. This is just all by itself, and this weight happens to probably be about 20 pounds. It was convenient for me. I've got some other weights that are even heavier and longer. Came off of a project that I had taken apart. But anyway, so they were just sitting around. You can use any kind of weight that works for you. But what I did was I tired of the fact that this thing would not close all the way. And of course it was changing its rate of ascent, rising, based on how long the spring was. So let me go through some detail if you're curious about what I ended up doing and how I did it. Now, I'm using 3 pulleys. 1, 2, 3. And all 3 of these are the garage door, overhead garage door cable type pulleys. They're 3 inches. They're inexpensive. The nice thing about them is they're ball bearings, and they work really, really well. They're quiet, they're smooth, and with the kind of use that you have here, they're never going to wear out. But I'm using a steel cable that is actually what they're designed for. So what I did was I took this original bolt that was here at the top of the spring, and I took you'll see there's a gap in between these things. So the cable you see on both parts is actually running between those 2 channels that are at the top. So I looped my cable around that, ran it down, put these clamps on it, and since I don't have a lot of weight, I just had 2 clamps. And then I run it down through this pulley, comes back up, goes back up between the channels, and comes up, goes over this pulley, goes over this pulley, and goes back down again. And then it's I put a loop down here, have 2 more fasteners, and what I ended up doing, which is convenient for me, you come up with any kind of design that you have based on what weight you have, but I have this shackle, and it's got a pin in here that actually unscrews, and so I can simply hold the weight up, unscrew it, and drop the weight if I want to, anytime I need to. So another thing that I did in terms of detail is that this one, okay, well, let's start up here. Over here, these are simple plain pulleys. There's nothing special about them. There's nothing unique. This one down here, I bought it with the extra strap that goes around it because I wanted a way to be able to fasten it down. Now, it's possible that you can put an L bracket in here, and you can put a bolt through the center of a regular pulley, but I chose this, and then I tried to figure out how am I going to fasten it, because what I want is I want some flexibility in here in case something is maybe misaligned. Basically it can recover and keep itself aligned and ready to go. That's my choice. But what I did in order to make that work was I have a bolt that goes, I drilled a hole through this channel, and I have a bolt that goes through on both ends. And then what I did was I took an oversized nut that the bolt will slip through, and then actually cut a bolt that took part of that, and I welded it to each nut so that I have 2 nuts with a center bar, and that goes through the center of that strap. And that's what I used for that particular setup. up here, this is actually, these are two pieces of like sheet metal elbows, or I mean angle iron. And so what I did was, it's just sheet metal, but that's the way, that's the shape that it was in. It was a scrap metal that I had. So I ended up drilling 2 holes, putting bolts through in order to hold the pulleys. I bolted it down to the upper channel up here, so it's cantilevered out. This bolt you could actually put anywhere you want to. If you want to put it over further this way, that's fine, but that's the way I ended up doing there. So I've got a little bit of an angle on that. It was not intentional. I could have moved it over a little bit, but that's what I did with this, and that's what I did to improve what I think, for me, improve this in a way that I wanted to. So what I can do is, let me tighten this up, valve up, and then I'll show you how it works. So there's my weight down there. So there we are. The bottle has been fully extended. The lift has been fully extended on this. This cable, this wire cable, is long enough to where it doesn't come up and strike anything. It doesn't hinder that. It's short enough that it doesn't, this weight that I have on here does not go down and hit the ground. So that's all measurement, and that's part of the reason why I just left a little bit extra cable on there in case someday I might make some adjustment to it. So anyway, so you can see it goes smoothly. I get full action, full use out of my bottle. It's nice and steady, nice and sturdy, and it goes down all the way. So then when I loosen that up, everything returns, and I've got a positive lift all the way up till this thing completely collapses. So that's my modification. In case you have something similar, you want an idea, that's an idea for you.